Okay, Tacoma Prepper here, aka Eric Rosenblatt, and today I'd like to talk about something that's kind of near and dear to my heart, and that is hiking in nature. Now, all too often, I've heard stories of people going out for a day hike, carrying just a few small items with them, thinking they're just going to go hike up a trail and then hike back, and then maybe the weather turns or they get lost or something happens, and all of a sudden what is supposed to be a day hike turns into multiple days and nights out in the wilderness, or maybe weeks, having to survive on literally nothing. And unfortunately, oftentimes those people don't make it. And it's really sad, because if they only carry just a few things with them, just a couple things, like the 10 essentials, I guess, then they might still be here today. I go a little bit further than the 10 essentials. I put together a kit, my day hike bags, and so I'd like to share them with you. So there's that. There's definitely a lot in here, and it's going to take a minute, so let's get into it, shall we? Now, of course, the first thing you're going to want is a trusty old AK. However, I don't think the park rangers are going to take too kindly to that, so maybe you don't take that with you and make that part of your kit, huh? Alright, so I've done a video about this a little while back, but I've made some changes, so I figure I might as well do an update and make it more in this format. So here we go. The first half of this day hike bag kit is this container or pouch or whatever you want to call it. The shoulder strap. It's all MOLLE stuff, so pretty easy to connect additional things to, which I've added a couple clips and whatnot for who knows what. But in the main portion of that, I have a titanium cup. So you can use that for cooking, boiling water, whatnot, just drinking things. There's a 1.5 liter water bottle, which is a really tight fit, but it does fit in there perfectly. Opens here for drinking. You can take the entire lid off, that kind of thing. So that's that side. And it fits nice and snug right in there. So there's that. In the back, I kind of have shoved in here a little stainless steel sheet metal stove. So this thing, I'm not going to put it together because it's kind of a pain in the ass, but that's in there, shoved into the back of that. Alright, get that back in there. Let's take a second to get it back into this, into the straps in the back. Okay, there we go. So, then in the front pouch, we have a little water filter system. So, now you can carry 1.5 liters of water with you. You can filter water. You can boil water. Whatever you want to do. There's a lot of options, but water's super important. And so there's that. I'm going to put it aside and go on to the main part of things, which is this. Now, so this is a... So originally I was looking for a fanny pack, and I came across this and sort of modded it and changed it and added things to it over time. So this can operate as a fanny pack, or it can operate as a shoulder bag, whatever you decide. And also you can just carry it by the handle if you want to. So I've kind of partitioned things off into different applications. There were these little loops on the front, which, as luck would have it, because I was trying to figure out exactly what to do with these, and then it occurred to me, these little unfinished 2 liter bottle blank, I guess, things, or whatever you want to call them, they perfectly fit in here, and they're nice little waterproof containers. I have my vape juice, because I vape. I have a little fire starting kit with a little bit of various additional things in there. Some wire, duct tape, and safety pins and things like that. I don't know. I don't know what the ultimate purpose for these are going to be, but hey, it fits. So, alrighty. There's a lot to this kit, let me say. Gonna need a little bit more space dust, I think. Okay, I guess I will go, I don't know, in no particular order. So I've added a few extra things. There's these little clip flashlights that are really, really amazing. That's nice and bright. Sorry for anybody that has epilepsy. Didn't mean to trigger you. A little flashlight down here too. This is actually like a soda bottle holder, so you could add that to your kit. Extra rings and loops and stuff like that. I don't know. I tried to take advantage of all the connection points and stick things on there. By the way, this thing is kind of chunky, but it isn't really that heavy, especially as a shoulder bag. It's not bad. So in the front, let's see if I can make a little room. This is gonna be interesting. So I have a little glasses wipe thing, so lens wiper, because I wear glasses, so of course, you know, that's important. Some little candles. Let's see here. Try to keep all this stuff organized. I have a Ziploc bag. There's quick fire starter. One of those kind of goofy sort of, I guess, like wallet, credit card tool things. This one's like fishing gear and stuff. I don't know how well it works, but it's so thin and light. I figured I might as well include it. And it's stainless steel, so why not? And then we have a Frontier straw water filter, so 2 water filters. Have that. A light stick, of course. I love light sticks. This little folding scissors. I don't know exactly the purpose of that, but it could certainly come in handy. Then I have this Gerber multi-tool. So, you know, your Gerber multi-tool there. I'm not a fan of multi-tools, but you know what? When space is a consideration, multi-tools aren't that bad. And then, oh, yeah. 2 rounds of 357 Magnum, hollow points. We'll get into that later. And then there's one of those Bic pens that has multiple various things, including a pencil function. So this one's kind of neat. Another Ziploc bag, all folded up nice and tight. 2 lighters. There's a little folding pocket knife. Chinotry, of course, because why not? And then a little bit of foil. There's a pen. There's a notebook with a short pencil, my favorite pencil, the Blackwing by Palomino. These things are amazing, so check them out. Put that down there. And then we have some AAA batteries in a Ziploc bag. You definitely want to do that, because if this shit leaks, it's gonna ruin the whole thing. So a cheap ass Ziploc bag, that's all you gotta do. Another notebook. This one's just, you know, basic bitch notebook. And then, so this is a survival guide that came with something. I don't remember what. So, yeah, okay. So that's the first side there. I'm going to take a minute to put this all back in here, and I'll get to the others, all right? So I'll be right back, okay? All right, that's back together. I guess we'll start on this side. So This is actually a really cool bag, honestly. I really love this thing. And it's sort of like a Chinese-made thing, made at Chinesium. I think it was like 12 bucks or 10 bucks or something like that, but it's actually really cool. Lots of pockets, lots of places to put things. I kind of like it. So, anyway, this side pouch over here. Oh, actually on the outside, I have this little backtrack GPS unit. So that's why I've got the batteries in there, because this is one of those things that you can use GPS to set a waypoint, and then it acts like a compass to send you back. So a trailhead, a campsite, a water source, whatever. There's a couple different save points that you could save in there, and it'll just lead you to where you need to go. So I love these things. They run for a really long time on a couple AAA batteries. Anyway, so this pouch is all basically medical stuff for the most part, and I don't know if I'm going to go into every single thing. I love my MRE toilet paper. We've got that. A little bit of aloe down here. So this is actually sunscreen. So there's aloe, sunscreen, wet wipes, you know, that kind of thing. These are little things that supposedly keep mosquitoes away. So mosquito repellent, and it smells like it. So I think those work. They're little stickers, kind of cutesy, but definitely functional. More wet wipes. Little Pepto-Bismol tablets, of course. Boy, diarrhea in the wild is no bueno. I've got some flavored chapstick, lip balm, I guess. Super glue, of course. Gotta have that. More wet wipes. A toothbrush. I mean, you know, if you're out there for a while, taking care of your teeth is kind of important. I have medical tape, toilet paper. There's these little expanding paper towel things that you get wet and they expand and they turn into a towel. Some actual paper towels. There's some insect repellent. So, yeah, and then another one of those. So, there's that. Okay, I'm gonna pause and put it all back together and be right back, okay? Okay. Well, that's that side taken care of. Now we'll go to this side. So, of course, on this end, I've got a carabiner, another one of the little clips and stuff like that. Okay, on this side, this is sort of more miscellaneous things. There's a little wrist compass, which I think is like a Boy Scout thing from like my dad back when he was a kid. I don't know. It works quite well, and you know, I like it. A little bit of cordage down there, some thin cordage. There's some just kind of shoved in there. There's a little bit of paracord. I love paracord. I think the stuff is amazing. Super useful. Stormproof matches. Now, I have 2 lighters in there, and I prefer the lighters, but sometimes matches work better, so might as well have them in there. Then I have more medical stuff. This is tightly packed, including sutures. There's a whole lot of things, a lot of bandages, and some disinfectants and things like that. Just a few things for whatever medical situation you might run into. And of course, my favorite, the space blanket. Gotta have one of those in a kit like that. I also managed to stuff my Altoids tin kit in here, which I will make that a separate video. So I'm not even going to cover that, but I'll just say the Altoids tin kit is in here. Little pack of fishing light sticks. These things are great. They basically last as long as the full-size light sticks. They're just tinier and probably more convenient in a way. Quick clot, of course. You definitely want that. and a little fingernail sort of sandpaper thing, but that could be used for all kinds of stuff. And that is everything in there. So now I will put all this back and we'll get into the rest of the kit. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, that goes back together surprisingly easy. So the last thing on the outside before I go to the inside is the back. So there was this little spot back here, and I don't know how easy this is going to be. Oh, actually, it comes out quite easily. So this is a solar charger with a multitude of different connectors, and it's a battery bank as well. A bunch of different connectors on the front. Let me see if I can. Maybe I can. Well, I'll have to fidget around with it. But there's a flashlight mode as well. But this can act as a battery bank and a solar charger. So I feel like that's kind of important. And it was cheap. And it works too. So there's that. That goes in this back little recessed area back here. All right, so we're gonna go into the meat of the bag. So remove the clips that make up the handle. Open this up, and I think I'm going to need to clear some room and probably have a little bit more space dust too for this one. Yeah, we're gonna move this out of the way. Okay, because there's a lot of stuff in here. It's kind of surprising how much stuff fits in here. All right, well, I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. How about that? Okay, so this is a little grocery bag sort of thing, just packed up. You can unfold it. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to put it back together. But basically, it's a little nylon grocery bag thing. So if you want to carry stuff, you can do that. Couple of hand warmers, always good when you're out in the cold. And then I have some coffee, some candy, some Spam, a granola bar, like hot chocolate, salt and pepper, seasonings, all kinds of stuff just in this little bag. So there's that. I have this knife which likes to rust because, you know, oh yeah, it's a little bit rusty, but, you know, I chose to get like a Damascus knife with a crappy ass leather pouch, but hey, it's a full tang knife, pretty comfortable in the hand, just got to keep it oiled. I should probably do that. Oopsie. Still functional though. And then I have the inside of an entire large package of dental floss. Now, dental floss is super useful for all kinds of things. Waxed thread, essentially. Super tough and durable. You could fabricate a lot of stuff, and I don't remember the length of this, but I mean, you can see that's like, there's a lot there. So there's that. Oh, Jesus. Okay. I have some meat sticks. So, little sausage sticks or whatever. A couple things of Beeman's gum. I love that stuff. It's so damn good. A couple more light sticks. There's an emergency poncho, which, you know, I'm not a big fan of these things, but they're small and it's better than nothing. So, there it is. All right. Some, this would be chicken bouillon cubes. You can make things taste a lot better that way. And actually, I think there's also beef bouillon cubes, so chicken and beef. And more candy. Tootsie Rolls. I love Tootsie Rolls. Some Jolly Ranchers. Just kind of, you know, in a Ziploc bag. So that's all like food stuff, I guess. Got a Emery wheat snack bread. Probably really gross. I think I remember trying this and it was really unsatisfactory, but you know what? When you're in a survival situation, that's a godsend. Couple of garbage bags packed up in a Ziploc bag. All right. Some fruit strip things. So there's that. Okay. Oh, that's the lid for the titanium cup. If you want a lid for boiling water, probably a good idea. And then I have my homemade pacing beads. These are really useful if you, say, don't have GPS or phone signal and you want to figure out how far you've gone. You just got to do a little bit of math before you head out. And then, yeah, there you go. I love these things. But anyway, all right, so let's see. A little bit of trail mix in a bag. All right, hopefully you can see all this stuff. There's kind of a lot of stuff here. A bandana. I'll put that down there. A whistle. These things, I had my doubts about this, but oh, Jesus, my ears are ringing. It is loud. Oh, and I probably should have tied a knot on that, but whatever. There's some paracord on the end of that. Let's just fix that right now. Okay. Oops. It's running away. Okay. There we go. Okay, so yeah, this thing, damn awesome. I will say, loud as hell. Pretty amazing, very lightweight, no big deal. Some Skittles stuffed in there. You'll note there's sort of a trend here. It's like meat and sugary things. It's sort of my MO, I guess. And then some jelly, grape jelly. I think there's strawberry jelly in there too. And then, so here's this. So this is a folding saw. Now, a lot of people love axes and stuff like that, but you know what? Saws work great. And I have used saws like this to cut through pretty big stuff. They work great, pretty compact, very light. You don't got to work a lot. And, you know, you're not going to be out in the wilderness for hopefully too long. So a little folding saw is great. This is I don't know how I feel about this. This little like cheap plastic spork and stuff that, I don't know. I just tossed it in there because why not? Some more bouillon cubes, more trail mix. Let's see. Oh yeah, caffeinated candy, peppermints. So coffee peppermints. I haven't tried those actually. I probably should. So that's basically it. I'm going to put this together and kind of wrap up the end of everything and share my final thoughts, all right? Ah, geez, I almost forgot. So on the strap, I added this pouch here, which happens to actually be kind of perfect. And so this, the way it's arranged, it kind of fits right up, you know, on your chest as you're carrying it. And so this actually is pretty much perfect for an LCP to fit into. There's that. You can carry that with you. Or even my Bond Arms 357 Magnum Derringer. That fits in here too. A little more tightly, but it does fit. There you go. So that's why the couple cartridges at 357 Magnum. So you have that, and God, these things are fun to play around with. Ah, God, I love these things. They're amazing. But, you know, depending on where you are, you might want something small like that, or something big like that. but you could carry it very easily accessible on the strap. All right. Now let's get into my final thoughts, all right? So, some would say this kind of kit is overkill for a day hike, right? Seems like a lot. And then there's other people who would say, well, that's not even enough. Maybe there's some middle ground, I suppose. For me, this is what I would carry going out into an unknown place in the wilderness or maybe even in a national park. Hard to say. But I don't know. This is based on my own experience, so I'm sure you all have some differing ideas on what to carry and what not to carry, and is this too much? I don't know. But I'd rather be ready if the unfortunate, unforeseen circumstance hits me. And it's like you got to balance being prepared enough, but not too prepared. You don't want to carry too much stuff with you just for a day hike, but at least you got to be ready, because shit happens, and it happens all the time, especially out there in the woods and the wild and everything. And so I hope that I've put together, I think, a pretty decent kit for the said situation. But of course it depends. It depends on where you live. It depends on where you're hiking, the terrain, the environment, all kinds of things. You might need different things. But in the PNW, where I live, this is the kit that I put together based on my experiences of hiking out in the wilderness and stuff. So your mileage may vary. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, what you think about this. Is it adequate or inadequate? Or should it be smaller, bigger, whatever, more stuff, less stuff? I don't know. I just can only base things off of my own experiences. And I'm sharing them with you. So hopefully you found this informative. I will just end with, when you go out into the woods, it's nothing like being in the city. Nature is unforgiving. It is not nice. And you get turned around, you might be screwed. And having a little bit of peace of mind, a little bit of kit, just in case, because I remember, actually, I'll tell a little anecdote, I guess, about my dad. My dad and his brother and my brother and my cousins went hiking around. This is Mount Rainier, so a pretty benign sort of place in general, you would think. It was a sunny day, summertime and whatnot, and they're hiking up this trail. They're way up there, and it's a well-marked trail. And clouds start rolling in all of a sudden, because, well, you get up to those altitudes and the weather changes. They're up there, clouds start rolling in, and thunderstorms start happening, and it's raining, and there's lightning, and they're getting cold, and they didn't bring anything with them. And my dad, of all people, a Marine, like, he served in the Marines in Nam. The only thing he had in his possession was an old, I think, 50s era ice axe with like a wood handle, and he ended up having to break that apart so they could start a fire, just to stay warm. And they took shelter in this little alcove. It was totally unexpected, and it's like, that was on a paved path. In a national park, a well-known national park, and it took them by surprise. And, that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. I guess I feel like anything can happen, and you should prepare for that. Maybe not over prepare, but that's just, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Maybe I've had too many beers. But so this is my kit. Tell me what you think, and see y'all next time.